If that's their dream, let's say, as Michael used to say, go for it, or if you reach for the sky, you'll touch the stars. I hadn't heard that before. The nurse that was there, that was supposed to be hired to watch Michael, I don't think she was hired to watch Michael.
Have you ever stopped to think that there might be more to Michael Jackson's story than we've ever been told?
The legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25th, 2009 at 2:26 p.m.
After decades of rumors, speculation, and hushed conversations, it turns out that what we thought we knew was just the tip of the iceberg.
At this point, we have not and will not determine cause of death. The autopsy will probably last several hours.
Now, at 94 years old, Michael Jackson's mother has finally broken her silence. She not only confirmed long-held suspicions, but also revealed stunning secrets that no one saw coming.
Police announced they impounded Dr. Murray's car from the singer's mansion in search of prescription medications.
Brace yourself. This story is about to head in a direction no one expected. Let's start by revisiting Michael's early life before diving into the important role his mother played in shaping his journey. That bond between them makes her revelations not just emotional, but essential to truly understanding who Michael was.
Ever since I was born, Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine. And I just wanted to say I love him so much.
Born on August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana, Michael was the 8th child in a family of 10. The Jacksons didn't live in luxury. They crowded into a small 2-bedroom home on Jackson Street, a humble beginning that shaped their resilience. Michael's mother, Catherine, was a woman of many talents. She played the piano and clarinet and once dreamed of becoming a country western singer. His father, Joe Jackson, worked as a crane operator at U.S. Steel, but he also had dreams of making it in music. He played guitar with a local rhythm and blues band called the Falcons. Little did anyone know at the time that musical passion would change the course of their family's future. The Jackson family's roots are fascinating. There were even stories floating around that Michael's great-great-grandfather, July Jack Gale, had been a U.S. Army scout and possibly even a Native American medicine man. Whether fact or family legend, these tales added an extra layer of mystery to the Jackson legacy. Michael grew up surrounded by his siblings, 3 sisters, Rebby, Latoya, and Janet, and 5 brothers, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Randy. There was also a 6th brother, Brandon, Marlon's twin, who heartbreakingly passed away shortly after birth. 1964 would be a pivotal year for Michael. At just 6 years old, he and Marlon joined their older brothers in a group called the Jackson Brothers. While Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine handled most of the singing, Michael and Marlon played percussion instruments like congas and tambourines. This was just the start of one of the most extraordinary musical careers in history. But life in the Jackson household wasn't all songs and smiles. Michael would later open up about his troubled relationship with his father. He described his father as overly critical, particularly of his appearance, especially his nose. Rehearsals were strict and often came with the threat of physical punishment. Michael painted vivid memories of Joe sitting nearby with a belt in hand, ready to discipline any mistakes. Joe Jackson's parenting style has been a topic of fierce debate over the years. While Joe admitted to being strict and using physical discipline, not all the siblings viewed him the same way. Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon defended their father, arguing that his tough love kept them focused and out of trouble, and ultimately helped drive their success. Despite being constantly surrounded by family, Michael often spoke of feeling deeply alone during his childhood. This is where Catherine's influence shines. While Joe may have dominated discussions about discipline and ambition, Catherine was the one providing emotional stability and love. Born Caddy B. Screws on May 4, 1930, in rural Alabama, Catherine's life story is one of quiet strength and perseverance. She moved to Gary, Indiana, seeking a better life, where she met Joe Jackson. The two married in 1949, starting a partnership that would lead to the creation of one of music's most iconic families. Inside their modest home, Catherine was the heart and soul of the household. While Joe focused on training the children to perform, Catherine offered emotional support and unconditional love, something that Michael desperately needed. Her warmth softened the harshness of Joe's strict ways, providing a safe place for Michael amidst the intense demands of their rising fame. Catherine's role in Michael's life was more than just that of a mother. Her deep faith as a Jehovah's Witness shaped Michael's early spirituality, influencing both his personal life and his art. She often sang with her children, encouraged their performances, and nurtured their creative sparks. Even with limited resources, Catherine never wavered in creating a loving environment for her children. Balancing a part-time job at Sears with the responsibility of raising 9 children, she still made time to encourage each of them individually. For Michael, who often felt isolated despite his fame, his mother's love was a crucial lifeline. As the Jackson 5's star began to rise, Catherine's importance in their lives only grew. While their fame exposed them to the pressures of the entertainment industry, she kept them grounded, offering a sense of normalcy and home no matter how far they traveled. Her presence on tours was a comfort, a quiet but powerful reminder of where they came from. Catherine and Joe's relationship wasn't without its struggles. Although she supported Joe's drive to push their children toward musical success, she often found herself caught in the middle, trying to protect her kids' emotional well-being from Joe's demanding nature. Then came 1968, the moment everything changed. The Jackson 5, Michael, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon, signed with Motown Records, catapulting them into global stardom. They didn't just make an entrance into the music scene, they dominated it. The Jackson 5 became the first group ever to have their first 4 singles hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Those iconic hits were I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There. This wasn't just beginner's luck. Between 1969 and 1974, they landed 17 top 40 pop hits, including 6 #1 R&B singles. Most artists can only dream of that level of success. At the center of it all was young Michael Jackson. Though he was the youngest member of the group, his voice, energy, and magnetic stage presence captivated audiences worldwide. With sharp choreography, infectious songs, and undeniable charisma, the Jackson 5 quickly set a new standard for musical groups of their era. By 1976, driven by a desire for greater creative control, the group made a pivotal decision to leave Motown and sign with Epic Records. Along with the new label came a new identity. They became simply the Jacksons. This marked the beginning of an exciting new chapter in their musical journey. When Jermaine chose to stay with Motown, their younger brother Randy stepped in to fill the gap, officially joining the group. The reinvention worked. The Jacksons continued their streak of success, releasing hits like Enjoy Yourself, Shake Your Body, Down to the Ground, and Can You Feel It, keeping them at the forefront of the music scene. Yet as the Jacksons thrived, Michael was beginning to forge a path of his own. His solo career was already gaining serious momentum, hinting at something even greater. Songs like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Billie Jean made it clear. Michael wasn't just a star in a group. He was destined to become a global phenomenon all on his own. Then came Off the Wall in 1979, an album that wasn't just successful, it was groundbreaking. At only 21 years old, Michael was making a bold statement. He wasn't just the talented kid from the Jackson 5 anymore. He was now a mature, visionary artist with a fresh, sophisticated style that belonged solely to him. Off the Wall defied all expectations. It fused funk, disco, soul, and R&B into something bold and exciting. With songs like the electrifying Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, the introspective She's Out of My Life, and the groovy title track, Michael demonstrated just how far he'd come. He wasn't just performing anymore, he was writing, creating, and shaping his musical destiny. The album was a massive success with both critics and fans. It produced 4 top 10 pop hits, 2 of which, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You, soared all the way to number 1. The album itself climbed to number 3 on the Billboard 200, but the significance of Off the Wall went beyond chart positions. It showed that Michael's appeal transcended genre and background. He was evolving into a global icon. Awards soon followed. At the 1980 American Music Awards, Michael took home 3 major honors: Favorite Soul R&B Album, Favorite Soul R&B Male Artist, and Favorite Soul R&B Single for Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. He also won his very first Grammy for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. Even though Off the Wall sold over 20 million copies worldwide, Michael wasn't content. He believed the album deserved even more recognition. This hunger to reach even greater heights drove him to push harder on his next project. Determined to have full creative and financial control, Michael negotiated a groundbreaking contract, securing a 37% royalty rate on album sales, the highest in the music industry at that time. This paved the way for what would become Thriller, the best-selling album in history. By 1984, after the tremendous success of the Victory album and tour with his brothers, Michael officially left the Jacksons. While the group tried to continue, the absence of their star member made it impossible to sustain their previous level of fame. As Michael's solo career skyrocketed, fame began casting darker shadows over his life. The pressure of living under constant public scrutiny took a heavy toll. In 1993, Michael faced damaging allegations involving a young fan. These accusations led to both a criminal investigation and a civil lawsuit. Though Michael vehemently denied the claims and no criminal charges were filed, he ultimately settled the civil case for a significant sum. While likely a move to avoid the ordeal of a public trial, many mistakenly viewed the settlement as an admission of guilt. Tragically, a decade later, new allegations surfaced in 2003. This time, Michael went to trial in 2005, facing multiple serious charges. The court case became a media circus, dissecting every part of his life. Ultimately, he was acquitted of all charges. But even though he was legally cleared, the emotional and psychological damage was profound. The relentless legal battles and non-stop tabloid speculation further isolated Michael from the world. He grew increasingly mistrustful of people around him and withdrew from public life in hopes of finding peace. After years of retreat, 2009 promised a new beginning. That March, Michael announced his This Is It comeback tour, a series of 50 shows planned for London. This was to be his triumphant return, his opportunity to reconnect with fans and remind the world why he was known as the King of Pop. Tickets sold out almost instantly, proving that despite everything, the world still adored him. Behind the scenes, however, Michael was suffering. Decades of performing and the immense burden of global fame had left him with chronic pain and severe insomnia. To cope, he relied on a dangerous combination of prescription medications, including the powerful anesthetic propofol. Very few people knew the extent of his struggle, only a handful of close associates and his personal medical team. Then, on June 25, 2009, tragedy struck. Michael Jackson was found unresponsive in his Los Angeles home. Despite desperate efforts by paramedics to revive him, he was pronounced dead at the hospital. The cause? Acute intoxication from propofol and benzodiazepines, a fatal combination. The news sent shockwaves around the globe. Grief-stricken fans gathered at landmarks like his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and his childhood home in Gary, Indiana. The sense of loss was overwhelming, and the collective mourning was unlike anything the world had seen before. In the aftermath, serious questions arose about how such a tragedy could have happened. A thorough investigation revealed troubling details about Michael's medical care. the spotlight quickly turned to his personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray, who was ultimately convicted of involuntary manslaughter in 2011. Michael Jackson's story is one of the most extraordinary in music history, a remarkable rise followed by a tragic fall. It's a complex tale of unprecedented talent, global fame, and deeply personal struggles. Yet his death also reignited a powerful appreciation for his legacy. In the weeks and months following his passing, Michael's albums rocketed back to the top of the charts as both longtime fans and a new generation rediscovered his music. The release of This Is It, a documentary featuring behind-the-scenes footage of his planned comeback tour, gave audiences a bittersweet glimpse into what might have been. Michael Jackson's passing marked the end of an era in pop culture. He wasn't just an entertainer, he was a global icon who redefined music, performance, and celebrity itself. His absence left a void in the industry that many believe has never truly been filled. Even years later, his influence continues to resonate. His songs dominate airwaves and streaming services, his signature dance moves are still studied and imitated, and his humanitarian efforts remain a beacon of inspiration for countless people worldwide. But the revelations from his mother, Katherine Jackson, added a deeper layer of sadness to his story. According to Katherine, Michael often felt like a prisoner of his own fame. The constant intrusion by the media, paparazzi, and overwhelming public expectations left him isolated and vulnerable. The pressure to maintain his title as the King of Pop took a significant toll on his personal life. Katherine also shared pivotal moments that shaped Michael's struggles with fame. The 1984 Pepsi commercial accident, when Michael's hair caught fire, left him with painful burns and chronic pain that eventually led to his dependence on prescription medications. The child abuse allegations in 1993 marked another dark chapter. Even though he was never found guilty, the accusations caused immense emotional pain and irreparably damaged his public image. Adding to his struggles was Michael's battle with vitiligo, a skin condition that caused his skin to lose pigmentation. Unfortunately, much of the media misunderstood or sensationalized this, further adding to his emotional burden. Katherine's reflections provide invaluable insight into Michael's complicated relationship with fame and the toll it took on his mental health. Throughout it all, Katherine remained one of Michael's strongest sources of support, always working to shield him from the harsh realities of fame. Even into her 90s, Katherine Jackson continues to play a guiding role within the Jackson family, offering strength and unity during challenging times. The values she instilled remain central to the family's resilience today. Michael Jackson wasn't just a musical innovator, he was also a remarkable humanitarian. It's estimated that he donated over $500 million to various charities throughout his lifetime. His generosity helped set a new standard for celebrity philanthropy. In 1992, he established the Heal the World Foundation, funding it with millions from his dangerous world tour. But his giving didn't stop at money. He regularly performed at benefit concerts, donated tickets to underprivileged children, and even opened his own home to sick and needy children, providing them with medical care and support. Jackson's charitable efforts were recognized globally. He received numerous awards, including honors from 2 U.S. presidents. His humanitarian contributions were even acknowledged by Guinness World Records for the sheer scale of his generosity. One of his most public honors came in 1984, when President Ronald Reagan presented him with an award for his contributions to campaigns against drunk driving and substance abuse, notably allowing his hit song Beat It to be used in public service announcements. Today, the Jackson family remains dedicated to preserving Michael's legacy. His estate manages his extensive music catalog, ensuring that his influence continues to inspire future generations. The family also supports various charitable causes in Michael's memory, focusing on children's welfare, education, and the arts. Annual events, such as the Michael Jackson birthday celebration and global tribute concerts, keep his spirit alive for fans around the world. Thanks to Catherine's perspective, we're able to see a fuller, more complex picture of Michael Jackson, not just as a world-renowned entertainer, but as a deeply generous humanitarian and a vulnerable man burdened by the very fame that made him a legend. His contributions to music, culture, and philanthropy remain enduring parts of his legacy, continuing to resonate across generations.